Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, it's Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Catalina Legacy Edition 303 QBCK travel trailer. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A couple things to take into consideration when parking. On your campsite, you need plenty of room for your awning to come in and out. Over here on your off campsite, of course your slide, leave plenty of room for that to come in and out unimpeded, preferably nothing hanging over top of it. But I also want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Your power is going to plug in toward almost at the very rear of your off campsite or your driver's side of your tow vehicle. And then your power or water supply is going to plug in here on the rear of your unit over toward the campsite. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once we arrive and unhook our hitch, first thing we're going to do is level your unit. Now your unit does come with a power tongue jack. Simply raise or lower the unit until it's level. You do have a night docking light should you arrive at night. If you lose power, there's also a manual override. Just crank this off here. There's a slot in there for a little hand crank that'll get that up and down if you lose power. Speaking of power, check your battery posts every now and then. Make sure those haven't wiggled loose. Once we got our unit level, next thing we're going to do is stabilize it. All four corners of the unit have these stabilizing jacks. 3/4 inch hand crank here. You can use a drill gun or an impact driver. I just recommend slowing down when you get to the end. Now you're only going to want to bring these down until they're taut. I recommend stabilizing jack pads. They're going to protect your feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris. Keep them from sinking into hot blacktop in the summer. Use your 10% off coupon, grab a 4-pack of them, put them down, and run these down just until you have some resistance from your crank. Remember, we've already got a unit level. All we're trying to do is stabilize it. So don't lift the unit at all. Just get them down nice and taut. Got all four of them down. We can hook up our power and water. Got a big long 30 amp cord. Plugs in here on the back. Little pistol grip here. Kind of plug into the left. You go into the left here. Once they're in, wiggle it to the right and put on your black washer. Now at the end of that 30 amp service, should you need to plug into a 110 somewhere, we do give you a 30 to 15 amperage reducer. Comes with your convenience pack. Get your power hooked up. Let's hook up our water. Now you do have this big accessory hat rack on the back that can fold up with all this out of the way. But in order to access it, you're going to have to bring it down. You'll just remove your cotter pins and it'll fold. I'll show you when we're putting it back up. City water connection is where you're going to hook up at the campsite. Grab your water pressure regulator, hook up your hose. But don't turn your hose on yet. Let's find your hot water heater. Just above your tires on your campsite is your hot water heater. All we're doing at this point, folks, is making sure our drain plug's back in. Throw a little plumber's tape around that, not putty. Putty will gum up on you. Get that in there nice and snug. Then you can go ahead and turn that hose on. After that hose has been on for a little while, you can go inside and deploy your slide. Our unit's level and stable. I need you to get inside and open up your water taps. Open up all of those, get all the air out of the lines, get a nice steady flow of water going through them. Once water's going through them, shut them off. Then you'll know that your hot water heater is full and you can turn that on from indoors. Now, let's say we're going to go camping and we're not going to use city water. We're going to go dry camping. That is going to be located up here on your off campsite toward the front of your unit. No need for a water pressure regulator here. Simply use a hose. Two ways to tell when this is full. One, there's an overflow valve right here. Or two, on the inside where you check the levels of your black and gray tanks, your battery, there's also a freshwater button. You can hold that down to tell when it's full. Do not leave it unattended when you're filling it. Once it's full, return that cap, and then whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump when using city water. That's already pressurized. All right, we're all set up with power and water, ready to camp. Let me walk you around the rest of the outside of the unit. Starting up here with your pass-through storage, your stabilizing jack. There's your fresh water, and then when you leave your dry camping, there's your freshwater drain for that. You got cable for the campsite to plug in. Coming down off your off-camp side. Coming to the rear here is where your dump station is going to be for your sewage and wastewater. Again, your power. Coming around the rear, your accessory hitch. Got a spray port here. Quick connect on that. City water connection, and you've got a outdoor hot and cold shower with a good spot for your handle to hang up. Over here on your campsite, open up your outdoor kitchen. These will hold up on a magnet. Press both these blues down at the same time to release your Elite griddle. Here's your quick connect hose. Connects from here right there to your quick connect. You also have some lighting out here and an outdoor fridge. Pushing this back in, you'll have to do the same thing. Push on both blue handles at the same time. Lock that in. Make sure that you do lock this for travel. Up here is going to be your leash link for pets and your low point drain for the campsites. To the front here, we've got your black tank flush. We'll talk about that when leaving the campsite and dumping your black tanks. Your hot water heater. Preps for a TV out here. You settle on a table and plug it in here, and here's your cable satellite hookup. To the right of that is a flue for your furnace. Two things on that. One, make sure it's never blocked, and two, if you are running it, steer clear of it. It does get hot. Up top here, you've got a vent for your microwave. And then continuing down here, quickly show you this hole here next to your entry steps. There's a manual override for your slide. If you can't get your slide in and out, you use the hand crank to get that in and out if you happen to lose power. Coming up front, your propane does have a cover. Comes on a regulator. Simply point it toward the tank you wish to be using. Lefty loosey to open. Green means you got gas. Lastly, up in front here is your battery disconnect. This will disconnect all the battery power to the unit. We'll talk about that when we talk about your carbon monoxide propane detector, which is all 12 volt. Alright, that about covers everything out here. Let's go take a look on the inside. Alright, coming up inside the unit, first thing I like to point out is the fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone's camped with you knows that the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway in case of emergency. Up top to your left is going to be your control panel. Brand new battery. Fresh black and gray tank. Fresh buttons water I said you can hold down to tell when your potable water is full. Slide control. Your awning control. I'm going to hit extend on that here. So that exterior lighting. Interior, there's where you turn on your water pump. And to the left there's where you turn on your water heater. I'll show you on this awning. You only got to run this out until that flap falls down to 90 degrees and you can see that bar. This will continue to run itself out and run itself up backwards. So keep an eye on it while you're running it out. Make sure you don't run it out farther than you need to. You also have a remote that'll change this LED lighting. Get our awning back in and continue our tour. Alright, come around here to your GE fridge. Just want to show you do have this latch to latch over for travel. This is a battery disconnect to the fridge. This is so that you can shut this off if you want to defrost the fridge by itself without shutting off all of your other power. Down below your fridge, It's gonna be your access panel to your breaker box and fuses. Got a handful of 15s in there and a 40. Highly recommend having some of those with you when you go camping. Up top here is self-explanatory microwave. Below you got a light and a fan. This glass top here makes an excellent backsplash. Turn this to high, press it in, and there's your flame. Same thing on the oven. You come down here, turn your oven on, turn this on to light, press it in to light it, and then set it to the desired temperature. Back here, a couple USBs and 110. Sink with cover. Another 110 here. Access to your water lines. Around the corner in your kitchen down toward the floor is going to be your 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. The reason I mentioned that's 12 volt, it's always running off your battery. So if you are out dry camping, nothing plugged in charging your battery, use your battery disconnect if you're going to be gone for the whole day to keep this running your battery down. Continuing here, you can grab this table, lift it up and wiggle those legs out. Set your tabletop on this lip here all the way around. Put your back cushions on top for another seating area. Or sleeping area, excuse me. Same thing over here. You can just jackknife this down. Storage underneath. Another sleeping quarters. Make sure you have this up in the couch position for travel. In the living room here, you have a 39-inch Connex TV. Before you run your digital channels scan, make sure this green light's on. That's a digital channel enhancer and it'll allow you to pick up more channels. Drive sound system, dual zone. Not sure if we'll pick up anything indoors here, but Bluetooth, auxiliary, 2 auxiliaries, and FM. Headphone jack. Now your fireplace. Not just for looks anymore. I can go through and show you all the pretty colors, but the biggest thing, folks, is the heat. Now this will kick out a good amount of heat. Go down there and get that on 4 high, and if you're plugged in at a campsite, instead of using your gas to warm it up in here in the morning or evening, crank up this electric heater on this thing and it'll get it toasty in here in no time. Over here on the wall, it's going to be your thermostat. Turn your AC on here. Hear that running? Do a quick dump on here. Now you notice I'll shut your AC off. Shuts right off. Turn the heat on. Heat duct underneath the oven over there. I'll shut that off. You'll notice it'll take a few minutes for the heat fan to run through before it actually shuts off. In your bedroom in here, you have one-touch lighting up here, USB and 110s on both sides. You're also prepped for a TV back here. Back in the wall, 110 and cable here. Underneath the bed, some storage. Shut these lights off back here before heading out. Your emergency exit window. Simply lift this, push it out, and pull on that, and that'll remove your screen. Speaking of emergencies, right here above your entertainment center is going to be your smoke alarm. Head back to the bunk area. Take a quick detour into the bathroom. Just to mention, this is 110 in here, and a little plumbing to maintain in here. It's all PEX. Just keep an eye on it. You are bouncing a house down the road. We'll make sure things haven't wiggled loose. Up here, a hand crank open. Power exhaust vent. And now into our bunk room. A lot of one-touch lighting in here. One 110 USBs here, and also set up for a TV over here. Emergency exit window in the back. That about covers everything on the inside. Let's act like we're going to leave the campsite and close the unit up. As I did, I started in the front bedroom, shut the lights off, came back to the back bunk room, shut the lights off. Now I like to come to my control panel, shut off my interior lights, and then I can see any individual lighting I need to shut off. So it's not controlled by my control panel at the front door. Got everything shut off. Now I'm going to say doors and drawers. Go through your unit. Make sure all doors and drawers are secure. Nothing's going to impede your slide from coming in. These utilize about every inch they can, so keep an eye on them when you're running them in. Come up here, just slide in. You see the importance of having these doors and drawers closed? And as the slide gets all the way in, I wanted you to hear that noise. That noise is okay to hear. It's nothing grinding. That's the slide mechanism telling itself not to come in any further. Shut off our interior lights and exit the unit. Now for these steps, the biggest thing you want to remember, make sure your exterior door is all the way open. Otherwise this could catch on it. You also have adjustable feet here with a little cotter pin. Lock that inside. Now before you leave the dump station, make sure you lock and deadbolt this door, lift and turn this handle. You may want to get back in there at the dump station to check the levels of your tanks when you're dumping them. If we are at a campsite, we're going to unhook our power, our water, and our cable, and head on up to the dump station. If we are out boondocking, we're going to come over here to our fresh water and dump that drain. At the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump's going to be behind your tires, on your off-camp side, or your driver's side of your tow vehicle. Once you arrive, hook up a 10-foot hose, comes with your convenience pack, and you're going to pull that left handle. That's going to be a sewer outlet. Once it sounds like that's no longer draining, you can go inside and check the level. If it is empty, make sure you leave that handle open and go and find your tank flush. Your tank flush is going to be located over on the campsite, just left your hot water heater. Grab the hose at the dump station, again emphasizing that you leave the black tank handle open. Hook up the hose and let that run for a good 5 minutes. That's going to wash all that nastiness out of your black tank. When that's done, shut that off, go back around, make sure that all that drain that you just put in there has drained out. Then close your black handle, pull your gray handle. While your gray handle is draining, head back around here and open up our low point drains. When them are done, come over to your hot water heater, lift up on this pressure release valve. That's going to dump the remainder of your hot water out of there. Put that handle back down, otherwise your door won't close, and then pull your drain plug. Make sure you put this door back on. Lastly, come back over. Make sure all that gray has drained. When it has, close the gray handle. Grab your sewage hose and conveniently and sanitarily store it right in your bumper. Again, we thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Catalina for many years to come. Happy camping.